Hello everybody, my name is Kenneth and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be going back in the kind of discography. We are going to be checking out DPR Ian's song So Beautiful. We're going to be watching the music video. You guys in the last music video reaction, the kind of first look that I did, kind of gave me an order in which to react to stuff. Now because obviously I did no blueberries and butter and tears, I can word, in that first look. Obviously those two will be now out of order, but I'm coming back here to check out So Beautiful. I'm really looking forward to listening to the song and kind of seeing how this story begins, how these themes kind of, the inception of these themes, if you like. So without any further ado, in fact, before any further ado, pause warning. I pause a lot and I talk a lot. So if that's not for you, completely understand. But this is your pause warning. We're going to get into this, but I pause. So let's get into it.
Before I change again.
Oh, hello. You're very quiet.
Before I change again.
Before I change again.
Remind me of the time when I still remembered.
So he's talking about here I guess he's talking about his altars. I did learn that while he has bipolar, he also has DID, dissociative disorder. I think. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's right. So it's interesting that we're starting off this music video like this.
Before I change again.
Before I change again. It's
Remind me
such
of
an
the time when I still remembered.
interesting line.
I feel it coming.
Interesting visuals. The idea he's drowning. I will say, just from what music videos I've seen already, he's very good at performing from an acting perspective as well. That detuned guitar, I guess, is the symbol of him. Is a symbol of him being of him changing into changing personalities. Sorry, I'm finding it really hard to word today. Ooh, beautiful strings. I will say he's great at making music.
I think I got my sight for you. I don't mean to let it through.
Musically, there's almost like a kind of Latin influence to it.
I thought it through. Now come on, you know I just get confused. Got you funky love.
Interesting use of the vocal effects there.
I love it when the skies can't see. I left a message encased in me. So bye-bye, flawless ending. So beautiful. You're so
Interesting. So far, it's almost, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's almost like he's portraying his altars visually by maybe this side is Ian and this side is the altar that has taken over for this, the MITO, I think. Please forgive me, I'm struggling today to remember things. But it's interesting the way he's using vocal effects as well to kind of signify the difference between himself and his altar. Um, just want to go back a little bit really quickly. It's almost like he's saying as well with the idea of the song. There's an aspect of acceptance maybe with his altar. So just maybe I might be completely out of the ballpark here. But there's kind of that suggestion of him embracing the different parts of himself, maybe. I'm gonna put captions. Never mind. No, I'm not. I was gonna put the captions on, just to make sure I wasn't missing anything lyrically. But again, so far musically, it's a very strong song. I love the musicality. The whistle is. It's almost like a Joker-esque kind of pose here.
Let's take a trip down a dark place, baby. Look for me now, I'm not that crazy.
Ooh, that piano.
What makes you happy? 'Cause I know I'm calling for you. Come get your phone.
So I'm assuming this second verse, the storyline over the second verse, because he did the smile, and obviously he adjusted his head. I'm assuming that that's a suggestion of the altar taking over, and the second kind of verse storyline is following him and what he's doing, what his altar is doing.
Story.
Yeah, because he's like waking up, not knowing where he is.
I left a message encased in me. So bye-bye. Flawless.
Interesting about leaving a message as well.
You're shining, my love is dropping color rays. My heart is looking the other way. My love is dropping color rays. My heart is looking the other way.
Ooh, that's a really cool shot. Oh, that was an interesting shot too.
Story. I love it when the skies can't see. I left a message encased in me. So bye-bye. Flawless ending. Come get your funky love story.
So he talks about leaving a message in case they meet. I'm assuming so you could take this kind of multi-layered. It could be the kind of him meeting his alters or his alters meeting, but there's also that kind of a very surface level meaning of if his alter kind of manifests and goes and does something, so maybe he can kind of go leave a message on an answer phone for his friends or whatever. Do people still do that? But he can do that kind of thing of saying like MITO is out right now or is coming out. Be careful what you say, be careful what you do. Almost that kind of warning system. Because obviously I can't relate to kind of that situation. I don't think. But it's kind of interesting how it kind of changes, and it's almost like just gonna go back a little bit. This kind of rain and the kind of spinning, and here with this is the kind of thing I really wanted to focus on. When he's pushed into the bathtub, it's almost like that thing of when you are drunk. Obviously, I'm not equating DID with being drunk, but I'm using the scenario as a similar kind of thing to explain this. In some cases, if you're in an alcohol kind of coma, you can bring someone out of that with shock, like pushing them into a shower and running the shower, or rushing into in this case maybe pushing the person into into the bathtub. And it's that kind of idea of, I guess, here it's similar in that the altar's been doing all of this stuff, and it's almost like kind of Ian is then drowning from the consequences. So he's now coming back to the surface, and there's that aspect of one altar going down into the deep and one coming up to the surface and being the conscious personality in control. And it's that kind of idea of while he is coming back to the surface as kind of the dominant personality, there's that aspect of he now has to face the consequences of whatever his alter has done. So if his alter has gotten into a car crash, he now has to deal with that. Obviously, I'm speculating on things. He wakes up, just in terms of what we've seen in the music video, he wakes up in the forest. I say wakes up. I don't know if that's the appropriate kind of description of that. I don't know. So please let me know. I'm not trying to be insensitive, but he becomes aware, shall we say, just for the sake of being respectful, because I don't want to unintentionally not be. But he becomes aware of himself being back in kind of the driving seat of and the dominant personality again in the forest. And so it's that kind of thing of he has to now take the consequence of that. Like, now I have to go back home. I now have to get back to where I live. I now, and it's that kind of thing of he now has to, whatever his alter got wrong, he now has to put right, if there's anything like that. The whole song, though, is beautiful. I love this. Saxophone. I think it's saxophone? Trumpet, I think. Trombone? I don't know. I mean, like, even here, he's in the middle of nowhere. And there's, he's limping, so clearly something happened when he wasn't in control of himself. And another altar was. You've got the kind of the flickering. This shot is amazing. This because I'm comparing it to the one that came up earlier. That shot of him kind of spiraling, literally spiraling. And here we've got no blueberries. I can hear, the background. Wow. I really like this. So it's a shame that there's no lyrics on this video. Because there's so much going on, I find myself unable to kind of, and this is just a me thing, this isn't an issue with the song. I'm unable to process everything lyrically. Overall, in terms of kind of analyzing the lyrical things. But I think the real kind of good thing about DPR Ian's music so far, from what I've heard, with these 3 songs, is that a lot of the storyline of the music video helps you explain if you do miss things in the song. I liked how it sounded, though. I am going to just quickly check lyrics. So here we've got in the chorus, let's take a trip down a dark place, baby. Look for me now that I'm not that crazy. So he's talking again about how he is in different kind of states of mind, when different personalities take over. let's talk about what makes you happy, because I know I'm calling for you. Um, so there's that kind of human desire there. You know, he's still human. He's still um, attracted to things, and there's a suggestion, I guess, maybe um, that that's also self-reflective. Because while it could be referring to, for instance, the female character within the music video, there could also be that kind of self-love aspect to him, to it, referencing the kind of, I think I said it before, the acceptance that he has for his self and for his alters. So here there's the repetitive kind of chorus here of because I think I got that wrong earlier. Did I mention the other one was a chorus? Um, Here you've got this repetitive chorus. Come get your funky love story. I love it when the skies can't sleep. I left a message encased in me. So bye bye. So bye bye. A flawless ending. So beautiful. It's almost like here in this part, it's almost like this is when the altar takes over. And it's almost the kind of situation where maybe because the altars, obviously the altar is formed and is created from trauma and from things that maybe Ian doesn't feel he's can deal with himself. So it's almost like the altar does this, but here it's almost extending beyond that just trauma kind of response. It's so the altar is actually going maybe and doing things that it thinks that will make Ian happy, like for instance pursuing a love interest or pursuing something that maybe Ian as a personality himself and a person himself is scared of. So the altar kind of says, you're not doing it, so I'm going to do it. And he's obviously there's obviously references to the kind of mania of the skies can't sleep. I don't know if this is right, but where when it says about a flawless ending, it almost feels like um again that kind of thing of Ian is one personality, and then his altar was kind of formed and created to deal with trauma, and it's almost like after this altar goes and does whatever things that Ian wants from him, he will then kind of recede back into kind of the background and let Ian take over and be himself and have his autonomy over his body, rather than the altar having autonomy over the body. And when it talks about a flawless ending, it's almost like he's hoping that the altar is hoping that that when he's done his job, he'll be able to recede until he's needed again, but that Ian will then kind of be able to almost reap the rewards, if that makes sense. Obviously, when you juxtapose that kind of flawless ending with some of the scenes of like he's in the middle of nowhere, he's all scarred up in a forest, obviously that doesn't necessarily track, but that's, I think, what the altar is trying to do. Um, uh, I could be wrong. Not entirely sure. Obviously, again, you've got the mania and kind of the skies can't sleep, and the idea of my love is turning grey. Um, and it's interesting throughout the song, you have these moments, and I think, please correct me if I'm wrong because I might not be remembering it right, but I remember MITO. Um, I remember the live I watched, Ian saying that he sounds different to him. So Maito sounds different. His alters in general sound different from him. They're able to do things differently to him. So I think when the vocal effects, the kind of lower toned call and response parts, um, and background vocals, or background parts are meant to be MITO, maybe. I apologize if I'm getting this wrong. Um, so it's like here there's in what I'd call like the middle eight section, you have, I guess, the depression mania of the bipolar saying, "My love is turning kind of gray. I'm not happy with dibba dibba dibba." Obviously, only the first part is the actual lyric. And then you have this call and response thing where he's assumedly Ian says this, and then his alter, assumedly Mito, says, "I love it when you sing," almost like trying to perk him up. And then in the second part of this bridge, slash middle eight, he repeats, "My love is kind of turning kind of gray," and then it becomes, "She loves it when you sing." So it's almost like the alters tried to go and make him happy, with himself, like, "I, as your alter, love when you sing. Sing again, be happy," or do 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 do. And then when that hasn't worked, because he says, "My heart is looking the other way," he then tries to say almost like, "Well, I just went and I obviously with the kind of music video storyline, I went and met this girl, and she loves it when you sing." And so it's kind of that that internalization versus externalization, but he's still saying like, "My heart is looking the other way." Um, I might be misinterpreting that, but that's kind of how that feels. And I think the fact that the ending is again that two line of flawless ending, so beautiful. I think that's a really nice way of ending the song. Because there is that kind of theme running through it of, and it might not even be Ian saying it to Mito, it might be Mito saying it to Ian. There's that kind of thing of Mito saying, "You are beautiful. You are worth things. You are, da da da," and almost kind of, "You are worth so much that this is why I'm trying to help you." Because again, alters are born out of trauma, and obviously when you can't handle the trauma, the alter is formed to take that trauma that you can't take. So it could be either way. Either Ian saying to Mito, "You're beautiful," or Mito is saying it to Ian of, "This is why I'm doing this for you." Yeah, I really, really enjoyed. I really, really enjoyed this. One thing I will say, just in general from the songs I've heard, he is very good from the production aspect as well, just in terms of how the song sounds. It's very jazzy. I was thinking like I could see, uh, in an alternate universe, I could see Ian. God, I don't know why I pronounced it like that. I could see Ian being, in a jazz club almost, crooning. Um, I really enjoyed this. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, my voice is getting a little tired now. But thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Obviously, I said a lot in this video, so please validate, invalidate, criticize, correct all of that in the comments below, because I do generally like, learning things about these songs that we're reacting to. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye.